The Kremlin's last friends are drying up and falling off right before our eyes. After Serbian President Vučić, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban said the country would have to reconsider relations with Moscow due to changes in geopolitical realities. And they are such that embracing toxic Moscow backfires. U.S. Deputy Treasury Secretary Wally Adeyemo warned African countries that they would face sanctions if they began to work closely with Russia. After the visit of the head of the Pentagon Austin to Israel, another friend of the Kremlin, Iran, is about to find itself in the epicenter of hostilities. Neither Israel nor the U.S. will ever allow Tehran to acquire nuclear weapons, and after close cooperation with Russia, Iran is closer than ever to this. The Kremlin, on the other hand, is very hopeful of China's military assistance, which will most likely be discussed during Xi Jinping's visit to Moscow, scheduled for March 21. However, the war with Iran may confuse the cards of the Kremlin strategists. Demonstrative sawing of ayatollahs from the political clearing can cool the ardor of Chinese beneficiaries. Or it may not cool off, since American production is largely based in China, and in the event of sanctions against Beijing, big U.S. businessmen may express their dissatisfaction and turn their backs on Biden during the impending electoral cycle. Everything is so tightly tied into a knot that it will have to be carefully unraveled, weighing every political gesture. But knocking Tehran out of the big geopolitical game will be an absolute boon. And from the militaristic cave glade, the entire General Corps is squeezing out Prigozhin, who has shown political ambitions. The ghoul has already whined about the fact that he was deprived of his means of special communications and that his special passes to the cherished departments were annulled, where delicate issues could be resolved in special offices. Now, having torn the ghoul away from its blood arteries, the system, blessedly, can bury the breastfed PMC. Instead of proud convicts, fresh contract soldiers will fight, who, under their bluish banners, are instructed to collect the nuclear Elko bobblehead Dmitry Medvedev. 400,000 contract servicemen are planned to be called up by the end of this year. Since February 22, Medvedev has been regularly holding thematic meetings with the participation of governors and plenipotentiaries, giving them quotas for concluding such contracts. The standards for the Sverdlovsk and Chelyabinsk regions are 10,000 head of hairy cattle each, and for the Perm region, about 9,000. He rested on the dogma that a nuclear power cannot lose. It is she who is screwed into the skulls of Sovkopatheks by crazy propagandists. The events in Georgia, which broke the secret springs of the Kremlin's influence, responded with the fascist bark of Simonyan, who promised not to send troops there, but simply to shy away at Tbilisi. This shy girl will then be very surprised. Why will she now be shunned along with her hubby? But it will be later. None of the Nazis at first also did not believe in the inevitability of punishment. But in vain. There was also a shock on the opposition's swampy hummocks. FBK priest Leonid Volkov, a mathematician and donatosos, was knocked down by one information hook of Venediktov, who published a screen of a letter from the cream of the collector of all Rus to Ursula von der Leyen and Josep Borrell about the need to lift sanctions from Friedman and his team at Alpha Group. This is what happens when you touch a smelly hairy substance, publishing investigations about her spiritual and financial ties with Sobyanin. Arrives immediately and inevitably. The beneficiary of Volkov's departure into the cryptocurrency fog was Maria Pevchik, who, perhaps, was betting on just such an outcome when she published an investigation about Venik, Sobchak and other Sobyanin shashara. It is better not to take part in toad viper weddings, even as a witness. By the way, Simonyan suddenly made a public analysis of Prime Minister Miss Houston. What a wonderful one. If it weren't for Tigran, I would have fallen in love long ago, wrote the Kikimora, admiring the clumsy playing of the bald man on the piano. Simonyan is not a mythical Bulgarian, and never admires just like that. Perhaps the collectors in the drawing rooms are aware of the likelihood of the displacement of the elite shit masses, and are making cautious bets. In the USA, by the way, too, no wonder that for the second year in a row Zelensky was denied participation in the Oscars ceremony, which will be held on the night of March 13. Probably, His participation will be discordant with the upcoming film by Alexei Buterbrodovich, a film about which was included in the list of contenders for the award. The fascist animal continues to tumble in the arena, and these games of the cattle base will be played to the last, until it is crushed to the ground and cleared of animal livestock. And before that, oh, how far?